since 14, I mean, she got her freedom and her honor and her rights on every level. So, mashallah, this conference shed the light about that it's not with equality, let's say, between men and women, and not the superiority in another sense. It's a responsibility. It's not really superiority. It's a matter of taking responsibility of men over women. But when كل شيء خلقنا زوجين الذكر والأنثى, that means Allah has created even the whole world constituted of male and female, and He said they are different, but women, of course, she play an important role in the society on every level. This is why I really encourage such type of conference, because women were oppressed for a while, and there was misconceptions around her rights. If she had the right to travel, to be educated, especially. And we know that Islam encourages women to get all the rights concerning, especially education of women, and to have an important, play an important role in the society. So the history has proven how Aisha was a model for excellence, and she was really a scholar in fiqh, and she was teaching men at that time, subhanAllah. And she was excellent in Arabic and in poetry and so on. And so we have Sayyida Nafisa as an example, Shafi'i, the scholar, great scholar, who was learning, from Sayyida Nafisa. So all of this, I mean, is just, I'm shedding some light about some of the successful women at that time. This proves that women, inshallah, if she has her right and her place in the society, she can have a great impact on the new generation, especially as a mother, of course. She's a role model for the kids, and at the same time, if she's knowledgeable, she transfers this knowledge to her kids. So we'll have a generation completely different if the mother is aware of what is updated, and how to be tolerant, how to be compassionate with her children, and knowledgeable, and transfer to them the right moral values. If the moral values are implemented in the children, it means that we're changing the whole society. We're really boosting the whole society, mashallah. And besides, before Islam, she didn't have the right to inherit. She was a source of inheritance. Actually, all these conferences will restore to her her right to inherit normally, as it was decreed by Allah, and mashallah, and it won't be misunderstood that الرجال قوامون على النساء, that means that they are predominant over her and depriving her of her rights. No, it is okay, each partner is playing his role, respecting the other opinion, like the Prophet ﷺ used to consult his wife, Salama. I mean, she was, her opinion was very positive. So this is how, alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen, I appreciate very much such type of conferences that, mashallah, honor the women, and of course Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has honored her in the Quran, and as a mother she's entitled to be respected. Her children has to be dutiful to her and not to throw her. I mean,
Dr. Amer, Dr. Amer, also, how has Islam pioneered in the freedom of women? Like, for example, we can raise a very good example, which is Sayyida Khadija, and she was a working woman, and she worked in the field of trade. So give us an idea about this, please.
Yes. Sayyida Khadija was a role example of playing all roles. You know, if you are successful, you are successful on every level, not only in the trading field. As a wife, she played a very important role to support the message and support the Prophet as a messenger. And accordingly, it was very important for him to feel like whatever he was receiving is not a magic or something weird, and he was frightened somehow. So she played the role of the second, that means the peaceful role to reassure him. This is one role very important. Not only she reassured the Prophet emotionally, but also financially. She was very well off. Why? Because she was a trader, of course, mashallah. She was ruling her trading and appointing men to work for her, traveling for her, and supervising all her wealth and so forth. So and as a mother, she was a mother, excellent. She had kids, and she was also, mashallah, she had excellent moral values. I mean, she was very kind and very honest, and even she didn't worship any idol before Islam. She was ready, we can say, to embrace Islam.
Yes.
So this is the women. Women should play on every level to be successful, not only as a mother, you know, as I said, so you have to look after your kids yourself, you know, take care of all their defects and correct them and implement moral values. And I mean, you have to, as a housewife, you have to look after your house. I mean, on every level, a woman has to be flexible and adapt. She has lots of adaptability to adapt to every situation and excel in every field. SubhanAllah, she has she's playing many roles, and in every role she should excel in.
Yes, Dr. Amer, more than hundreds of participants from public Islamic figures from around the world, with the participation of 60 countries around the world, are participating in this conference. How do you see the importance of this gathering, and as we expect, of course, recommendations, or what would be the outcome of this gathering?
Well, this gathering means, mashallah, that Muslims are united. We are exchanging ideas together. We're sorting out the problems we confront together. And this is, of course, reinforce our unity and gives it power to Islam. And of course, this also, it's like they're witnessing the importance of women in the society. I mean, why they choose such a topic? Because it's a very important topic, actually, and we see, actually, probably the leader of America would be a woman. I mean, women actually is taking great responsibilities. It's not like before, I mean, and her role is very influential on the society. So we appreciate very much that actually most of them are men, and they approve the importance, positive
Yes, I thank you very much for your time. Thank you for your valuable information, Dr. Magda Amer, the Islamic scholar. Thank you very much for joining us over the phone. Ladies and gentlemen, a short break, and I'm going to be back with you. Back at the 9th Tokyo International Conference on African Development TICAD was held in the Japanese capital during the weekend, and during the conference, Cairo reiterated its commitment to the post-reconstruction and development agenda in Africa and its role in enhancing the relationship between peace and development as the most effective tool for preventing conflicts. More in the following report.
Cairo stressed on Saturday at the opening session of the 9th Tokyo International Conference on African Development TICAD ministers that the prolonged conflicts in Sudan and Gaza revealed the international community's failure or unwillingness to intervene effectively. According to the Egyptian Ministry of Foreign Affairs statement, Abdel-Aati noted that the current methods are either ineffective or inadequate to address the successive complicated challenges facing the global community. Abdel-Aati also emphasized the necessity to discuss strategies to tackle the current risks and threats to peace and security, not just in Africa, but globally, calling for urgent and comprehensive reforms to the international peace and security framework. Abdel-Aati reiterated Cairo's commitment to the post-conflict reconstruction and development agenda in Africa and its role in enhancing the relationship between peace and development as the most effective tool for preventing conflicts. Emphasized the significance of the African Union partnerships, including that with TICAD, as key instruments for achieving these goals. During his meeting with the CEO of Japan External Trade Organization JETRO, Norihiko Ishiguro, Abdel-Aati emphasized the importance of holding an Egyptian-Japanese investment conference to enhance economic cooperation between the two sides. For his part, the JETRO CEO welcomed the proposal and said he was committed to studying it. Abdel-Aati also met African counterparts from Senegal, Togo, Benin, Somalia, Chad, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, Central African Republic, Comoros, Sierra Leone and Ivory Coast.
Mali government declared a national state of emergency after weeks of heavy rains brought the death toll since June. More in the following report.
Some 7,077 households in Mali have been hit by flooding that killed 30 people and left 47,374 people displaced or affected. The government made the statement after a special cabinet meeting. The worst hit area was the region of Gao in the north, with 9,936 people affected. Heavy rains have fallen across the entire Sahel, with flooding leaving 217 dead in neighboring Niger and dozens in Chad. Mali's cabinet allocated 4 billion CFA francs, or $7 million, to stockpile needed food and assist affected households.
Well, the first 10,000 Mpox vaccines are finally due to arrive next week in Africa, where a dangerous new strain of the virus, which has afflicted people there for decades, has caused global alarm. More in the following report.
The slow arrival of Mpox shots, which have already been made available in more than 70 countries outside